What's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another deck profile. We're here with Christian, who won the Pro Support TCG Weekend Case Tournament. Christian, how's it going, man?
It's going all right, man. Just a busy day working.
I hear that, but you're coming off a pretty awesome weekend. So you chose to play Red Broly. I talked to you a little bit before the tournament. You said you've been playing Red Broly for quite some time. So is it kind of just like your main deck? What kind of makes you want to play Red Broly?
So I play multiple decks. I walk around with probably 7 on me at all time built. But my thing is that I played Red Broly during the last format when Icarus was still around, and I was doing really well with it. And Icarus gave me just a little bit of trouble, and now that Icarus got hit and it's coming out with the yellow like little staple that are just 1-drop 5Ks, I feel like this deck's even stronger because Yamcha counterplay can burn them.
Cool. All right. So yeah, let's see your build. Definitely a pretty different version of Red Broly. So should be pretty cool for the people to see. So you can point the camera down. We can check out what you're playing.
Alright. So, obviously starting off with the leader. Broly's unawakened side. I can add a life, gain crit for the turn, and then once per duel I can add an extra card for my deck to hand as a 1 cost. And then awakens at 4 life. And then its awakened side has built-in protection for all your Broly BR cards. So if one's removed by opponent's skill or KO'd, I can choose a red Broly card with energy cost 4 or less and add to, in my hand and play it by discarding another card.
Yeah, it's one of the best things about the leader, right? Like you can punish your opponent for taking your board away, which is really good.
Yeah, it really helps with the Gogeta matchup when they Supreme Kai negate you. You don't really lose advantage. You just get another card out of your hand.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm starting off with, I only played 3 of the 1-drop Paragus.
Yeah, so let me explain this one real quick. So there was like a ruling kind of like discovery over the weekend where this card specifically says, look at the top 5, add a Broly or Unison with a specified cost of 1. And no one really ever questioned it, but basically everyone thought like, oh, you can add any Broly or a Unison. But the head judge of the event ruled it that the specified cost of 1 applies to both Brolys and Unisons, and that kind of came about because like the Finn rulings in set 15. Basically these aura effects, if there's a a conditional on the aura effects, it applies to both targets. So me and you talked about that during this tournament. How did it impact the usage of this Paragus card?
So mostly I used it to search out Unison throughout the tournament for then on. Unless I was missing the 1-drop, I would use the Vampa skill to play him by discarding and hopefully hit a 1-drop on that to add.
Yeah, and your build like relies pretty heavily on the Unison, so that must have still been pretty good for you.
Yeah, definitely, because the fact that it searches, honestly, I think the best Unison for red currently, that's like small deck. If you're just putting out little beat sticks, the red Unison helps push out more with the Fearless Pan combo.
Right.
And then this was my favorite card to search all tournament with the Paragus. I only played 3 copies of the original Broly Saiyan Youth. The reason this is my favorite one to search out is because I get tap 1 after I already played the game promo, I mean the TP promo, and I can go into another chain on the same turn that I started one.
Yeah, establishing multiple chains is definitely really good.
Yeah, and this also helps clear Unisons because he's a 15k as long as the ball's on field. And then you have to play for this one. It's the best one. It searches the ball, plays the ball gets you any target you need besides 6-drop. This is honestly probably the starting play if you can get it out. If not, the other one's perfectly fine as long as you got 3-drop and Paragus. And then I still run 2 Planet Vampa, even though it got eroded. Because I can search it for leader skill, and then I can charge it for next turn or use it if I need to.
Yeah, there are a lot of times you actually didn't go for it turn 1. So do you have like certain times you want it turn 1 and certain times that you don't?
It actually really depends on who I'm playing against and the deck. Like Gogeta Xeno, if they try and target the Unison, then I will play Planet Vampa on turn 2. If they leave my Unison alone, then I'll just go straight to 1-drop and charge Vampa.
I see.
Yeah, because Vampa is really good at discarding itself. And there was one game where I sided 1 copy out and opened 1 opening hand, and I used it on the second turn. and it took 3 life away because I hit the 1 drop. I hit this. I used leader skill and awaken the same turn. And defensively, I feel like this is the MVP in my deck. This helped me succeed in a lot of red matchups throughout the weekend.
Yeah, and red was definitely very popular.
Yeah, this card definitely helped with the Jiren matchup because I've never played a Jiren matchup, so I kind of went in blind. And I played against Eddie twice throughout the whole tournament, once in Swiss and once in top 8. And then I like putting Unison out turn 1, so if I already have Vamp at opening hand, I'll always usually search out this, so I can already have defense for Unison.
Yeah, this card got you a lot of value that I saw on stream, just protecting your Unison and whatnot.
Yeah. Plus, in the Gogeta matchup, if they summon Thwarting, I can Yamcha counterplay it, and then when they swing with it, I Wolfing it, so they tap the one, it's already dead.
Yep.
And then I'm just playing 4 Piccolo Junior Unison. The +1 really helped a lot with like Jiren, Gogeta, BMS. Someone actually played BMS on me, and I did this turn 2, and +1 and negged it by 5. Get off field already. And then a lot of leaders currently in this format take your life by awakening or for their own auto. So once per turn, you're gaining a marker on their turn, almost guaranteed. And then you're gaining a marker just for hitting them. And then I feel like this is the best super combo for this deck, just because you can put this guy back at the bottom if you open him.
Right.
So it lets me just reshuffle the deck, recycle cards that I have in hand I don't need in hand. I open this guy a lot after Mulligan, and it's kind of upsetting. Sometimes you'll see me charge him opening game. You need to play Bob because Bob searches every target in the deck that's viable. If you're missing a link, he'll get it. So starting with 3 drops, you kind of got to play this guy. He's a basic one. He's goes in your chain. I only played 3 of him because I decided to play 2 copies of this guy. The new Broly from set, I believe, 13.
How did that guy work out for you?
In my opinion, he's really good against every deck that's not blue because he's a Crown and Retribution against anything that's not blue. He lets me see their hand. I pick a 15k or less and warp it for the turn. But it also lets me get hand knowledge that turn, and I don't really lose energy by playing it. Because if I already had a 1-drop on field the previous turn, I could just swap in, look at his hand, see if I want to neg 6 that turn, and decide on my upcoming plays. And this also won me a game against the U7 Gohan player because he plays the Vegeta counterplay that if you have 3 or more energy, you can tap 1, and a battle card coming in has 15k or less. It goes to drop instead of being played. So on neg 6 Unison, he responded by playing that card, and I decided to summon 2 of these instead.
Very nice.
So in the main board, I only run 2 Yamcha counterplay. He's really good for early game defense, and I just think he's really good overall for just other decks that are trying to out aggro me. Like Gogeta, Jiren, it came handy against Blue earlier through the round. He was trying to put out these little skillless guys, and I did this to him. Either by 15, it became 5Ks, and they couldn't do anything after that. And then, this is my little Unison package. I play 1 copy of Oblivious Rampage Son Goku, 1 Burst Attack Son Gohan, and then double Fearless Pan.
Yeah, so I'm definitely curious. Like, normally people play Pan, sometimes people play Oblivious Rampage, which I really like Rampage, but I'm definitely curious about the second Pan and the Burst Attack.
So the second Pan really comes in handy against matchups kind of like Hatch and Sin, because I can establish a chain by turn 2. Turn 3, During most hatch matchups and sin matchups, I won't awaken until turn 3. So I'll hard cast it, and then get the 5k, the 5-drop double strike, and then I'll awaken, and then I'll go into another chain with the 2 open energy I have. And then I can also have one later on in game for neg 16 again. And on top of that, having 2 barrier blockers in the deck is always really good, especially if I can put both of them on field consistently like I have been doing.
Yeah, there was one game where I actually saw you play Pan back to back. That was definitely pretty good.
Yeah, and then this card right here comes in real handy now, especially since green has their own version of Topo. Because I'll push through them just by playing this. I'll do all my swings until I have maybe the 4 or less cards in hand, exactly. Then I'll swing with this again, drop 2, draw 2, and I have enough swings for it again. Enough cards in hand for it to swing again.
Very cool.
Then Rampage is your double strike crit dual attacker. You kind of need him for the last game push. If they have like 4 life, he gets the extra damage in. And I like the fact that he technically starts another chain by replacing one of your own because he triggers leader skill. And then we play 1 copy of King Piccolo New Ruler and 1 copy of SS4 Bardock Fighting Against Fate. Technically the overall of the deck, because 1 comes out with the unison for free. I do this before I neg 6, and then I do this after I neg 6, and he's my final attacker if I need him out.
Right.
Plus, this guy, playing him out before neg 16, I played a Pan, now he's a 25k double striker. And then the rest of the list is pretty basic from here. Because, you know, you have to play, in my opinion, you got to play 4 of the big guys, the 4 and 5s. These are the ones you always have to play 4 of, because you never want to miss on these. Especially when you crit them, it hurts a lot if you don't have one in hand and you can't search another copy. I really like putting a 5-drop out as fast as I can, because if the 5-drop dies, then I have the 4-drop already in hand to play it again. And then Paragus ruling kind of sucked on this one, because now every time I kept the opening hand, I made sure I kept it in hand instead of mulliganing like I usually do. I played 3 to 6 drops, and then 1 copy of SS4 Broly SER.
Yeah, anytime you drop these guys, it's definitely just like kind of automatic game.
Yeah, especially when you neg 6, because I can swing with this, then I'll do Oblivious to KO this if I don't have this in hand, and I'll just go back into 4-drop. So it's just extra removal for no reason that's in the game.
Gotcha. You want to show side deck real quick?
So the side deck had some meaning behind it. There are cards in here that probably shouldn't be in here. So I play 2 Broly Crown of Retribution. This when I play against blue, I side out the 3-drop that's opposite of Crown of Retribution for these guys. And then because this is really good against blue because they keep energy open, unlike the other 3-drop, it's really bad because their energy is always open. And then I play double max power Kamehameha for the Sin Shinra matchup and Hatch matchup. And then I play 2 Unending Awakening because I haven't had really much any practice against starter Vegeta with the Bardock Crew engine, so I didn't want them to come out of my way and then just catch me off guard.
Yeah, so having that Sesame type of effect was definitely pretty good, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Luckily, I didn't have to play one. I saw a bunch of just regular U7 starter Vegeta running around. I didn't see any Bardock Crew. This card never came in handy at all, and I sided it against one time. So this card would probably definitely get sided out, and I'll probably change it for something else on the side. I'm a big fan of V-Rays, but not in this deck. It's really bad.
You don't think it's good against Gogeta Xeno?
I did side in and need my matchups for Gogeta Xeno. I don't want to have that one energy open when I'm trying to put more pressure in. I'd rather put as much pressure in as I can, tap energy in, and I keep my free negates in hand.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then I guess this is the MVP of the game because this caught me the second game against Gotenk. Hitting Ambitions Vegeta.
Yeah, when you dropped it on stream, that was kind of crazy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I cited literally just for green because it's kind of, I can guarantee game 1 against green almost 90% out of 100% of the time. So this kind of just concludes game 2 for me. This card, I play 2 of them. I never saw myself siding them in this deck. I thought about it in one matchup and I just didn't side any cards in. It's really good for the +1 effect and for the late games. Like, I would probably side this in for the hatch matchup just so I can get the extra draw power in to keep hand side. And every time they have to counter, I can kill their little guys. And probably rejuvenates to help me survive against hatch longer. But I didn't have to play a single hatch matchup, luckily. That would have been such a mental drain on me throughout the day. And then I play a 3rd copy Yamcha counterplay. This is really good for the Jiren matchups, like the decks that spam out little card. And then I play this for token removal.
It's like Goku Black, stuff like that.
Yep, because I didn't think there's gonna be a lot of blue yellow coming around for the tournament on Saturday, but I want to be prepared just in case. And then this card is really just in there because it's a hypothetical. So I played 10-drop Fu, Shroud of Mystery. Because I played against a, you know, the Healing Pod Yellow Frieza deck?
Yep.
I played against one of those in the Carta Magica event online where I earned my national invite. And he actually took me to turn 7. And he 10-drop food me, and I survived it. So I didn't know if that deck still had any like steam behind it. I didn't know if I was gonna see any of it. I just wanted to be prepared. So if I still won game 2, I mean game 1, I can guarantee win game 2 by deciding this in.
Yeah, that's still good against Hatch as well, right? So that's not bad either.
Yeah, it has its uses. Sin, Hatch, and the Mecha Frieza deck. I mean the Mecha Pod deck.
Gotcha.
Because Sin wants to take you to turn 5.
Right. So that's the whole deck. I appreciate you going through that with us. I know a lot of people wanted to see it. Any final thoughts or shout outs you want to throw out there?
Shout out to Lotus Gaming for letting Team Dormant stream out there every Thursday night. And just shout out to Team Dormant, you know, my team that we founded back in January, and a lot of us are coming up. You know, we had 6 guys, I think it's 5 guys actually, top Houston PPG. And sadly, I'm the only one running around right now because everybody has business, work and stuff, you know. So I'm just doing what I can for us.
All right, man. Very cool. We'll see you the next time.
All right. Thank you, man.